Welcome to the James Johnston Football Channel.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the first episode of Arsenal Matters, which will be my Arsenal review slash preview of the next fixture series that we're going to do for this season. I apologise, it's late. I know the Brentford game was last Friday and I've had nearly a week to do it in, but I've done other videos and other podcasts and sort of neglected doing this for my channel. Unfortunately, I haven't got Tom with me to do it today, so it'll just be me by myself, but hopefully you still like what I've got to say. You like what I'm thinking and what I feel. And if you do, just leave a like and a comment and share and subscribe if you don't already. I know I've got a few fans of other teams on this channel, so if hearing a man talk about Arsenal isn't for you, I apologise. But some of you do sort of well in the Arsenal misery at the moment. So hopefully, if that's you as well, you'll enjoy it. So straight away, going into Brentford, Arsenal's first game of the season. It was away, Friday night football. It was the kickoff for the whole of the Premier League. And Arsenal went into it with Aubameyang, Lacazette, ill was what we were told to begin with. They were just ill. Nothing more, nothing less. They were ill. And then a week later, we find out that them, along with Renarsson and Willian, have also tested positive for coronavirus. Arteta, since then, said that he was shocked that the game wasn't called off. But when he did the pre-match and the post-match, he just alluded to the two and that they were just ill. And that left me puzzled because if it was coronavirus, I don't know why Mikel Arteta and even the club didn't just come out and say that at the time. And there's always conspiracy with Arsenal, and that sort of led into this whole belief that one of Aubameyang or Lacazette is to be sold. I think if there is going to be one to be sold, it will be Lacazette. He's in his last year of his contract. Probably isn't going to renew. And the outlay that we spent renewing Aubameyang last season is a bit too high for us to sort of throw him away exactly a year after. But stranger things have happened. Onto the game, Arsenal lined up with arguably what was the best that they had at their disposal on the day. Chambers, towards the end of last season, I think, proved himself as the starting right back with a few of his performances, especially the West Ham away performance. Gabriel is still out, so Pablo Mari is the only other left-footed centre-back that we have at the club, and Arteta insists on having that left-footed centre-back play in the left centre-back role. Ben White made his debut. Kieran Tierney, he always has to play if he's fit. You know, Kieran Tierney is one of the first names on the team sheet. Granit Xhaka was picked as captain of Arsenal for the first time since that game versus Crystal Palace at home. And then Lokonga made his league debut alongside him. Emile Smith-Rowe was in his new number 10 shirt playing at number 10. And Pepe and Martinelli were out wide, with Balogun making his long-awaited league debut up front. The game itself, the game was massively embarrassing for me as an Arsenal fan and for a lot of Arsenal fans. The Premier League's been around for 29 years. I'm 30 in a month's time, so it's been around for my whole lifetime. In all those 29 years, Arsenal have been present in this league. I don't feel there's ever been a time where Arsenal looked out of place in this league. But I mean, I hate to tread over old ground, but Arsenal have won this league 3 times. We went unbeaten in this league for 49 games, but we looked out of place uh, at Brentford on Friday night. We looked frightened. We looked timid. We looked weak. We looked absolutely passive and slow and ponderous in every single thing we did. And added to that, the usual lack of any leadership and defensive cohesion that has plagued us for years, really, ever since Patrick Vieira basically left the club. It was an utterly awful evening to be an Arsenal fan. Even as a neutral, I'd have been embarrassed for Arsenal watching that game. We had 65% possession in that game and 22 shots, but we created absolutely nothing really of worth against a newly promoted side who, let's be fair, Brentford, absolutely brilliant on the day, but they come up via the playoffs and they conceded the most goals out of those 3 promoted teams. So out of all the 3 promoted teams, when the fixtures come out, if I was Mikel Arteta, I'd have looked at Brentford first game and gone, right, I've got them first. I've then got Chelsea and I've got Man City. I need to lay my marker from the beginning and start with 3 points and then just go from there. And we completely messed that up. Onto the game, Mari in the first half, he headed a ball out that went into the midfield, and the midfield just made no attempt to win the second ball. And it was a pattern for this game, really. And then Mbeumo rattled the post quite early on. That was a bit of a warning sign. The first goal, Callum Chambers, he blows hot and cold. This was a really cold game for him. He failed to clear his lines, and he perhaps should have let the ball go out. It looked like the ball went out to me anyway, but he should have made a bit more of the fact that the ball did go out. But then, as he's trying to clear it, Canos picks the ball up. Chambers is already in a really bad position to begin with. He can't recover in time because he's just too slow. I mean, he's a centre-back playing at right-back, theoretically. And the ball was slotted past Bernd Leno at his near post, which, for me as well, is just utterly acceptable. That on top of Bernd Leno's dithering on the ball and just inviting the press on instead of distributing, really frustrates me. I find it really frustrating. However, I somewhat sympathise with the fact that he's possibly scared to distribute that ball long because he's coached to keep passing it short and play out the back by the manager, and he's frightened potentially of the backlash from the manager if he doesn't do what he's been instructed to do. However, I sometimes feel that the old classic, there are times where it's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is to ask for permission. And I feel that maybe some of his own self-beliefs in what he needs to do should overtake what he's being coached to do. But that's just me. That's just me. But no, the sad thing with that first goal is obviously Callum Chambers has committed an error. And you'd think, hopefully, Bernd Leno can rectify that error and bail Chambers' error out. But the classic Arsenal comes in that when one falls, they all just fall together and it all just continuously just crumbles. Balogun, he had a penalty shout in the first half. It wasn't for me. I didn't think it was a penalty. I felt quite sad for Balogun on the day. I thought he played okay, but the service that he had was dire for me. It wasn't good service at all. There were times where him and Martinelli made some quite smart off the ball runs, but Granit Xhaka, as per usual, liked to go sideways wide to Tierney, and then Tierney kept crossing it into Lower Val. Emil Smith Rowe, he had the best chance for Arsenal for me in the second half. A great little bit of solo play from him, but he hit it straight at the keeper. Xhaka as well, he hit a volley over in the second half, which was another good chance. And Brentford then scored their second goal, which could nearly tip a man over the edge. Yeah, it was such a frustrating goal. In pre-season, the whole of pre-season, Arsenal have been absolutely atrocious at defending set pieces, which last season we're actually quite good at. I was quite impressed with how well Arsenal defended set pieces last season. In the summer, we recruited a new set piece coach from Manchester City. I don't know his name. I'm sorry. I should have got his name. This is a guy that Mikel Arteta said would have been his first choice when he come in. However, he was tied down to Man City and couldn't leave. So he's replaced the old set piece coach with this new set piece coach from Man City. And you know what? Man City must be delighted that they've got rid of him, because my goodness, the setup from a throw-in for this was an absolute shambles. To start with, Janssen is all over Leno. He's just holding him back. And I've seen people, fans, managers claiming that it's a foul. But for me, you can't let yourself be manhandled like that. Leno should be grabbing at him, jog on, like get off me type. And Janssen isn't Gable Stevenson. If you know, you know. But for goodness sake, you got to move him out the way. I mean, Leno was holding on to him like Kate Winslet holds on to Leo in Titanic. It was absolutely embarrassing. And then Norgard gets the goal, and you just think, what is happening? What is happening at this club? It's absolute calamity. And then towards the end, Pepe had a nice chance from a cutback from Tierney, but that was the end of the game, and it was really tough. It was really, really tough. It was tough to sit even from home. I mean, I feel sorry for all the fans that actually went to the game, but to sit and take that, it just further compounds my worries for Arsenal this season and for Mikel Arteta this season. And I really believe that this manager is potentially on borrowed time. If I could give positives about this game, I'd say the performance of Emil Smith Rowe was a positive. He had 100% passing accuracy into the final third. He had 98% overall passing accuracy. He won all three of his take-ons. He created 2 chances, and he won 2 fouls. It was a really, really decent individual performance from him. Tierney, as always, played a great game. Lokonga, I thought, looked good in spells. And I thought Saka was great when he come on, considering Saka's obviously been given somewhat of a break from the team after the Euros. But yeah, I thought he looked very, very lively, and we looked much better when he did come on. Questions obviously are being asked about this manager and the fact that there is a lack of a distinct style of play after 19 months of being at this football club. Tifo did a great video explaining this game in detail, and the donut of shame, as they like to call it. I don't want to copy Tifo and say, the donut of shame as well. I prefer what I've called the unmagic roundabout. Just goes around, but nothing really gets developed at the end of it. Arteta, for me, he's gone big. He's gone big in youth. Obviously, on top of renewing Xhaka, who's 29, Aubameyang that's 32, Willian that's now 33. Well, he didn't renew; he bought Willian in on a long-term contract. The youth that he's gone in for, I can see why, because they arguably bailed him out last season when he desperately needed it. When the three Brazilians got the coronavirus in December on Boxing Day when it was the Chelsea game, and the likes of Smith Rowe come in, it really did change somewhat the pattern of the team and saved him. Because I think if he lost that Chelsea game, he'd have been in real big trouble. But the problem is that the whole emphasis now seems to be on this youth to deliver. And Emil Smith Rowe hasn't assisted a goal for Arsenal since the Leeds game in February, which is 11 games. And added to that, Saka has not scored a goal and has only assisted one goal since February as well. So you're putting your eggs all into these two players. And I think, that can be a concern. We saw Saka towards the end of the season starting to burn out because he was just so overly relied on. And then Smith Rowe as well has that injury record, which is quite a concern. Arteta, he's had 9 days now to rectify all these issues and all these problems. And for me, we need to see a response going into this Chelsea game. It's the first time in 18 months Arsenal fans are going to be present for a league game. It's a competitive fixture. It's a derby. I know it's not the derby, but it's still a London derby. And it's Chelsea who I believe are going to be champions-elect at the end of this season. So we need to see vast improvement for me in this game. Before moving on to what I think about the Chelsea game, Arsenal have been active in the transfer market this week, finally. We brought Martin Odegaard back, and we've brought Aaron Ramsdale in as well. And I actually feel both of these are quite positive. Odegaard, I'm very happy with. I think he's a player that when he came in last year, he lifted Arsenal. He added a lot more creativity and a bit more flair to the team. He's vastly the most technical midfielder that we have already just by signing. So that's a big plus. I think as well he'll help the forward line produce more, which is exactly what we need because we haven't got any strikers currently that are firing. The Ramsdale signing, I'm not going to sit here and say that I fully backed it. People can scroll through my Twitter feed and see what I've said about the signing. I never actually abused the player direct. I just wasn't, for me, it wasn't the goalkeeper that I feel we need. And he wasn't who I'd have picked to be the future Arsenal number one. However, he is here now. And I fully support the guy now that he's here until he gives me reason not to. So I look forward to whenever he plays and what he's going to do because he's clearly been picked to be the future number one of this football club. So I hope that it's a long and successful career for him here at Arsenal. Going into that, Arteta now is the most backed Arsenal manager. Arsenal as well are the biggest spenders currently in this transfer window, and we still have a right back and a striker to buy. I think we desperately need both of those positions. Roughly around 130 million has been spent now. So for me, there is nowhere for Mikel Arteta to hide. And with these additions, as well as potentially getting a right back and a striker, he has to finish bare minimum top 6. I put Arsenal in my season predictions to finish about 7th, but I said in that video that For me, it could be anywhere between 7th and ninth, maybe 10th. But now, bare minimum, he has to get top six. I still think there's huge work for us to do, like I said, in that right back and that striker department. However, what I will say about the transfers that have come in is that I like the age of these players and I like the profile of these players. Ben White's 23, Tavares is 21, Lukonga's 21, Odegaard's 22, and Ramsdale's also 23. So all of that, along with the young core that we have, and as long as we're not overly reliant on it, like I said, and we try and spread the minutes and avoid that, what they call the red zone and everything else, hopefully we can build something. I think that some of these more experienced players, per se, that Arteta's had before, they never really, apart from, I think David Luiz really backed him, but they never really believed in his philosophy or his ideas. And I feel that some of them, even the ones that are there now, perhaps have given up and don't want to listen to his ideas anymore or be managed by him anymore. So I like that these younger players have come in because hopefully, if Arteta is to carry on, they're going to be more receptive and then obviously more coachable to deliver what he's trying to do and then hopefully get us the results on top of that. Moving on to Chelsea, I'm worried about this game as well. We got bullied by Ivan Toney and Mbeumo, who are both good strikers. I'm not going to sit here and say Ivan Toney and Mbeumo aren't top tier strikers. They're very, very good, but we're up against Lukaku. We're up against Lukaku, who's arguably, I would say, in the top 5 number 9s in the world. Me personally, I would revert to the back 5 for this game and just hope for the best. Going into my lineup, I would start Ramsdale for this game. I would give Ramsdale his debut. He's clearly been brought in to be the new number 1. Leno has been a complete letdown for a while now, so you might as well just chuck Ramsdale in and go from there. See what happens. I'd also play a back 5, and I'd put Saka in there as the right wing back to go with Pepe, and I'd do that just so that both of them just go and bomb and attack Alonso. Alonso, for me, for whatever he does offensively, he can hit a free kick. He's got quite a good long shot on him every now and then. He can put a few tasty crosses in. Defensively, I don't think that guy's up to scratch. So I would be trying as best as I can to just batter him on that left-hand side with Saka and Pepe. Just go, 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 and hopefully something can happen. I would bring Rob Holding back. For me, Rob Holding relishes a battle. We've seen him against Chelsea before in the past, against Diego Costa. We've seen him against Liverpool when he's gone up against Mane and others. And the guy likes a duel. He likes the battle. And just aerially, he's better than every other centre-back that we have that's currently available. I think Gabriel is our best centre-back in the air when fit, but they're not available. But I'd keep Ben White in there as well. I wouldn't like to see Ben White just get completely cast away. And I think I'd keep Mari in there as well. I want Tierney more out wide. I don't want him as a left centre-back. Xhaka and Lokonga, keep them in the middle. And up front, I would have Pepe and Emile Smith-Rowe. And I'd have Martinelli leading the line. I feel sorry to discard Balogun after one game, but I think we need someone that's played for us more in the league and scored goals in the league. And I think Martinelli would be much better suited for this game than Balogun is. So that's that. Just a little short and sweet video there. I just want to say thanks to all of you for watching, if you got this far. And I'll do another one of these post the Chelsea game and pre-West Brom, and then I'll do one after West Brom if you like them. And hopefully I can get Tom or some others from the Arsenal sort of, YouTube/Twitter community involved. And yeah, if you like the format, let me know in the comments. And thank you to all of you, and take care. Enjoy the game.